Hello everyone, it's Sloth here today with different deck than usually because it's not a control deck. But nevertheless, it's the pure joy of putting counters on every single little creature that deserves a counter but didn't have it in that card text. So that's what we are doing pretty much in this deck. And let me tell you, Brokers Ascendancy is pretty fun card. Like the joy of making your cats go to up to 8 attack, 8 toughness or something like this. It's pretty cool when it works. Okay, what about the deck list? So you can see the deck list. Most of the choices I think have sense. We have Falco, Spara, Pactweaver. Generally very important card for the deck. The only issue with this card that I was seeing after playing with it is that you can cast spells from the top of your library. So this card isn't great if you every single time get land at the top of your library. But let's be honest, most of the decks don't work then. Jokes aside, it's very powerful card. The whole like shielding thing, the fact that you pay 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer trample, and it has shield and it's so hard to remove, and you can cast spells for it, especially in the deck when you have so many counters. Remember, you can remove any counter from it by removing a counter from a creature. So it means that you don't have to remove his shield counter, and you actually don't want to remove his shield counter. So that really goes into big synergy with all of our rest of the deck. This is the reason we have Aspirant, we have Initiate, they make counters on their own, and Brokers Ascendancy, in order to like go for this huge mid-game push of 8/8 creatures or something like this. We have Esika's Chariot that really, as always, really performed well. In the games you will see how important card is it. I really enjoyed it, like it has a raw power that we cannot match. And don't forget, if you have Broker's Ascendancy, you actually might want to crow the Chariot without attacking. Because you play this, you have 4 attack in the game. It means you can tap your cats and create this as a creature that has no haste, cannot attack, doesn't do anything. But it gets additional counter because at the end step it was a creature. So that's something that matters. Here I think if you go for a Wedding Announcement, very important card because it creates value, creates tokens, and creates creatures that can grow with the Ascendancy, and at the same time it can become a one-time Ascendancy on its own. So very important card, one of the key ones. So you want to order triggers, so you first make the token and then grow it with the Broker's Ascendancy. Sanctuary Warden, very important late game card because you also can create like stuff, and not only it draws you a card, it also creates additional creature that if you have like full board of Broker's Ascendancy and just one creature, let's say one top deck of Warden, suddenly you have 2 creatures and he needs to kill the Warden and then remove the other token that grows every turn, sometimes 2 times a turn. So that's pretty huge actually. We also have a Wandering Emperor. Wandering Emperor is extremely good synergy with the deck. You might ask why. Yeah, it makes a token, but that's not it. It makes 2 tokens at instant speed. It means that you get double benefit of this. So basically after you play it, you have 2 4/4 creatures. It's in a way Chariot sometimes. So you play it, of course, at the end step, you create a samurai and then you create another samurai. So in this deck you don't always go for the -2, you actually prefer to go for -1, because with this deck every single creature that you will make will become a threat at some point and enemy will have to remove it or he dies. So that's the point. You want many creatures, so he needs to answer many like 8 drops or something like this, because when you have 8/8 it's pretty much like an 8 drop, right? And enemy needs to deal with it like it was an 8 drop, and you just paid half of your Emperor to do it or something like that. So that was the idea. We might see that I'm playing this deck because I crammed some removal in this deck. I simply cannot play in this format without having removal. Like every Kiki-Jiki that gets unanswered is so painful, and Brutal Cathar is good card. It's really good synergy with the deck because it's a creature, it can go into nighttime, it can remove multiple creatures, so that's a really good fit for the deck. But it also is very easy to remove. What worse, it can be removed at instant speed with most of the red removal. It means that whatever creature you removed gets back. If you exiled Harvester, for example, guess what happens? Suddenly, enemy gets additional blood token, and if you attacked with any other creature, for example, I don't know, Catilda, or some small initiate, he can get back the creature at instant speed, get the blood token, kill one of your other creatures, especially Catilda, because she trades very poorly with him, and suddenly your Brutal Cathar doesn't look so hot. So for this reason we have 2 March and 1 Fateful Absence to at least have some ways to remove stuff. We also have Emperor that can get this same result, but if enemy is smart, he won't really easily tap his main creatures, so we need to be careful. Other than this, we have 1 Elspeth. She's good in this deck, but you can see the 3 drops. We have Brutal Cathar, that's not amazing as a creature. We have 2 enchantments. So usually you actually go for the 2 drops most of the time, or just whatever you can hit. So that's why we only have 1 of them. I feel that that's enough to create a lot of pressure on the enemy, especially with +1 to make a, you know, crazy angel that does everything. But you don't want to overdraw them, and 2 in the opening hand is a no-no. So that's why we have 1. And that's pretty much it. You will see in the games how we play this, and I think it's a pretty fun deck. When it works, it's simply amazing. And as always, if you enjoyed those decks, subscribe and get this sweet income of decks every day coming. So yeah, that was it, and I really thank you for comments, watching, and so on. So let's go into the games and not make this more awkward than it is. Okay, so that's pretty close to non-creature hand, and we are on the draw, so I expect a very rough game. That's a very good draw. That's one of the best draws in the deck for this turn. So we can ramp a bit and make something that blocks the stuff, you know? Whenever whenever vampire dies, or even any creature dies, he creates blood token and then he can get it back. Cool. I get the idea. I don't think we're super scared about it, so we just go with our plan. And like, stat-wise our plan is just a bit better, but we'll see. If he can remove key stuff, then we might be in trouble, because he was on the play, so he's like ahead already by definition. Okay, so this is a very important turn. We can decide the course of the game for a few next turns. It honestly thinks like Ascendancy is just better overall, but maybe we actually should start with the announcement, I think. We are behind of it, but we need more creatures so we can benefit from both the mana, like we don't want to trade, both with the mana and Ascendancies. Like next turn we will have enough mana for double Brokers Ascendancy, and when we do it together with the announcement, man, enemy will feel the pain in 1 turn. I hope he taps out for something right now, so he cannot respond to our plan. Even if he gets rid of the announcement, that's not... Oh man, that's so good. I think that's the best situation we could be in. I hope he doesn't remove more though. Please don't remove more. That would be great if you did not remove more. We need to be aware of the flashback. But you know, he didn't make a token. We could replay the announcement. Let's think, this is 1 mana of this creature's colors. So this will be white, this can be green. We need blue. We need more blue. We need double blue because we want to double cast the Ascendancy, so we need actually perfect mana to do it. So we just go double this, right? And this will create... What is this? Fateful Absence? It might be a Fateful Absence. So we could go balanced. This way we create token, and we also create the thing. Do we need to order the triggers? I'm not sure. Auto... okay. He shouldn't auto-trigger. Maybe this is more of a safe play. We want more counters, right? So he probably removes one of the creature, but the other one will be 3/3 already. So that's pretty huge. Yep, exactly. To be honest, I expected Fateful Absence, but it's still okay. And the big point is that he cannot remove both Ascendances. We have already 3/3 that is growing, and we keep Wedding Announcement to create more creatures, because the problem is that we have, like, every our creature will be huge threat very quickly, but we have only one creature in the hand, so this solves it. And that's why we did it this way, and not the other one. So do we pressure enemy? We probably should, right? No, we will go like this. I'm not super scared about the Bloodcaster, to be honest. I want to smork him really hard, really quickly, because we need to simply outvalue him. So let's put the counter here. It is also bigger target. And believe me, in very quick time, each of our creatures will be huge. Eiganjo? Okay, Emperor. Emperor, a bit worse. Definitely. But we need to be aggressive. Especially that we can pretty much block his creatures. Fateful Absence will be important at some point, but he doesn't really have blood tokens. He needs 5, right, if I remember. Yep, you can transform. Second Wedding Announcement. Oh man, we need to ramp up the damage. Like, our creatures are bigger, but he has so much removal and like stuff. Like, basically he has most of removal. So he can go 1/1 whatever the size is. I think I wait for next +1. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So, how do we do it? I don't think we attack with both. I think we attack with Catilda only. Or maybe we just go like this. Man, this is actually quite hard. These are all games of Magic, right? We can cast anything with this, okay. So we can go both. We can remove this guy or kill the Emperor. What will he do? If we don't attack, I expect +1 on the Bloodcaster, right? So then we use the March, or maybe Fateful Absence. I think we do it like this. Okay, I will explain why like this in a second. Let's go for the Aspirant, so it's good blocker. And we don't attack with Aspirant. So first we want the token, and then we want it to grow. Yep, better. Okay. I did it like this because if we don't tap Catilda, he might kill her, and then we don't have mana to use the instant speed play. That is extremely important. That is extremely important for us. We will see. Like, enemy can feel the pressure already. And we will get the tokens, similar as him, but our tokens will be a game-winning threats very quickly. Unfortunately, he can go 1/1 for a lot of cards, and he has quite a lot of mana. We are at 4 lands, basically, and he has 6, so he can basically pay for extremely expensive removal and still have the same mana nearly as we do. Okay. I expected +1. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see this attack. Yep, as expected. He might draw a card. Maybe I just take 4. I think I just take 4. I don't want to give him card when he's fully untapped. And I don't want to exile Fateful Absence. I think we need to preserve the value. Well, this game is pretty interesting overall. We are playing very similar decks. Okay, sure. You got it, my friend. But we still have 3 big creatures. that you have to answer somehow. So this will be +1, right? It's not super scary. +1 will be here, and then we remove it with March. Brutal Cathar. This is very good draw. Like, this is actually a very good draw. Let's bring the pain. So we remove this one. And now enemy cannot -2. It means that we can go for a really big attack. Do we attack with this one? I think we really need to be aggressive. So we attack with this, definitely. And if we attack with this, he won't really double trade, I think. Then he goes what? Puts one counter here. We can remove... Oh, but we won't have mana. We need to remove this one, definitely. So I think we just go with 2 big ones. Remember, the small token can also tap for mana, which is sweet. We could also kill the Emperor. He might be more willing to defend the Emperor, because it's pretty much already a creature. So I think we go like this. I want him to trade. Like, if we keep trading every turn, our creatures are just better. Okay, nice, he traded both. So it is possible he will go all in on making +1 and killing us. Do we let him untap? I think we do. I think we do. And you can see that how we outvalue enemy creatures if we are left unchecked. I also won't do it before he declares the attackers, because if he knew, he can activate the hive and maybe do some shenanigans that kills us. Well, we probably can block it, but I just want to make it as awkward as possible. Probably not a good reason. If he activates the hive, his turn is dead, so probably not something I should be very worried about. Our removal is not based on toughness, so we do it. And loyalty gets given always. Like, he has to be scared. Like, there's definitely a priority. Okay, sure. See? He isn't aware what is going on exactly. And for this reason, we have options. So, I think we go for the Fateful Absence, right? By the way, if we do it right now, we get hit by the staff. What is the damage? So 9, 17, 21. If we don't do anything, enemy is tapped out, he has 1 mana, and he won't get the token because he attacked with the hive. That was game-losing mistake, I think. So we basically don't block it, go to 1. This deals creature or planeswalker. So I think we just kill this, and we win the game. We are at 1, and he dies. Just to be sure, 10 damage. And this, yeah, well, that's overkill already. Whenever it dies, create blood token. Whenever you create, if you can, yeah. Yep. Man, I think we won this. It seems to be enough. And he, thanks to not knowing what we are doing, he decided to go all in case we can remove one of the creatures. So that was really good play to not remove when he pointed it with the Emperor. Because that created a wrong play, and if he didn't attack with the hive, this would create a blocker that we have to remove. We have March, but it would make it harder. So there, if he played a 1-drop, then we couldn't kill him. Perfect. I assume. Yes! Yes! Oh man, I'm proud of this one. I think we really navigated this game quite well. There were for sure some mistakes on my part, but I think in the end we made out value. Yeah, being on the draw as well. Let's go, man. This version feels so much better. Let's go with white. Let's put our sweet creature. By the way, we need to be careful about green with Catilda. You actually need a lot of green early. First of all, like, can we play something with her? Not really. Let's attack. Enemy has something. That's a priority. Oh yes, baby. Oh yes, I'm so happy he did it. I think you wish you would remove this one, didn't you? Initiate is not worth killing. Like, Initiate only works when you have something else with him. So you just kill something else. And for 2 mana, it's not really a possibility to, you know... You get what I mean. I'm thinking about Falco, so that's why. You need to bear with me. And you know what? We are definitely freaking playing Falco. It's the best creature in the deck. If he cannot remove it, like, he cannot keep up with the shield counter. And usually red doesn't have good ways to remove it. Oh man, I feel that we are freaking destroying this guy. By the way, we have only 2 creatures. That's all. So, what is the play? Probably Brutal Cathar. Yeah, let's just make sure that we hit all the right stuff. And Falco can kill the enemy very quickly on its own. You are out. Do you want to sacrifice to, you know, not save your creature? I guess not. This is worth it. This would be 1 damage, so we can as well get the Aspirant and get more damage. Okay, sure. Probably would prefer to remove the counter from the Falco, to be honest, but you do what you do, my friend. It's not sure that we can raise him. He will have a lot of counters. Yeah, I think we need to be a bit more defensive overall. Not this turn, but from the next turn onwards. And we keep drawing lands. That's unfortunate. That is definitely a bit unfortunate. We don't have enough mana. Yeah, we need 1 more. Man, this is the worst draw in the deck right now. I think we go for the Falco and keep pressuring him. If he attacks, then we use Emperor. Okay. That's a shield counter. Enjoy your damage. Smork. And that's why shield counter is so powerful. We could get rid of the Kumano, and then he doesn't have good attacks. Man, they always freaking top deck something. If he attacks with everything, what do we do? Like, we use Cathar, block the initiate, kill it, and then we have Emperor with +1, then we exile this, and the enemy has nothing. So I do believe it's okay. Without playing anything, we even have the first strike, so that's really good. It forces the enemy to play a bit more carefully, and that was it. Falco. I think if not Falco, he wouldn't scoop, but right now it's just so much value. Yep, good game. Okay, as usually we are on the draw, but we have pretty good start with the Aspirant. So let's go there. We have a lot of untapped white, so let's go with the other one, so we have full colors. That's usually how we want to do it. Even with Catilda, I will just take the green and the white from here. That looks like a removal. And you know what? We are playing into it. Let the enemy have it. He will. Or he won't. I knew he won't. Man, that's a nice sleeve. Man, I actually like this one. Reanimators, so... Oh, nice. Finally the skin. I have this skin, but I didn't make this... didn't make any deck with this. Yeah, let's go like this. Enemy has no priority, so we are just full Smork mode. Who gets what? Do we get our Smorky Smorks first? Or enemy gets Jin-Gitaxias, Progress Tyrant first? It's not the worst, to be honest, and this can be very important because it's channel, so it doesn't get countered by Jin-Gitaxias, and we can kill it. when he resurrects it, because we will be sneaky and he won't realize it. Let's go like this. Do we want to check priority? Like, sure. Okay, there's no priority at all. Let's split. This is 5 damage, bro. That's already quite heavily. And I think we go for the full power. What is this deck? They usually don't have stuff. I think we go for the maximum power. Maybe we should not attack with one of the token, put the counter here and trade 1 damage this turn for more damage in future. Okay. You got it, you little monster. Didn't think of this one. Not gonna lie. And I probably should at some point. But it's fine. It's fine. Do we go for Elspeth? This cannot crew, right? But I think it's overall harder for the enemy to remove. And you know, there is a small chance that we hit non-land with this card. To be honest, whenever I played Falco, I nearly always get land. I think I only got 1 different creature. And are we serious? I freaking missed it. Man, I actually... No, okay. It flipped after my turn. Oh, that's good. I thought that I missed completely, like, crewing and attacking with the Chariot, which is pretty awful. So, you know what? Let's grow this guy. We have the Emperor, and we want to do it like this, because then we created additional token, so it's better than... So attacking for 5 with the token seems better than attacking for 4, and we are freaking keeping our Emperor. So right now he has multiple problems to solve. He has 1 problem of shield counter. He has another problem of Chariot. He has another problem of Wandering Emperor that he doesn't know of. And he has problem of dying next turn, which I think is one of the bigger ones. Well, he needs a resurrection spell. He has what? 4 white, so he can cast Invoke Justice. Problem is, I heard Brutal Cathar is pretty good. You know, not sure, but that's what I heard. What are you going to do? So the Rhino? What? Okay, like, okay, maybe. I'm not sure. And I don't think the Chariot is right, to be perfectly honest. So that was his big turn. And we definitely make some small samurais, because we need to smoke him, like hardcore. Like right now. Do we go for Elspeth? I'm pretty sure we go for the counter. Oh, how do we do it? We probably go Brutal Cathar, right? Let's be honest, that's our play, and he might even scoop. We cannot play Elspeth, unfortunately, so we will just go for the maximum damage this turn. By the way, you might think that Falco has an ability. It's not true. Falco has no abilities, it's just a shielded flyer, as you can see clearly in this game. Oh, I didn't notice we killed him. So yeah, usually for some reason I always get lands, but we still won, and that was actually a perfect lethal. So we didn't give him next turn to resurrect something. If we went for Jingi Taxias, we would kill him. It usually will block your small creatures because he feels he's protected by this ability that counters instant and so on. And then you just channel, and it's not an instant or sorcerer, so you just kill it. Okay, we are going first. This is super slow hand, but we have removal. We have second removal, and we have 2 planewalkers. So it's slower hand with a lot of value. Like, we can go some 2 for 1 at least. And we are on the play. Those sleeves are pretty cool. I actually like this one. It might be one of the best ones. I wish they did the work to animate this stuff. Like, come on, you are getting enough money, maybe you really should put this small effort and just make an animation, or At least something, you know? It a bit boggles my mind how much they skip like any small work that could be done. Oh man, that's so good. Do we want to get rid of it? Probably not. Catilda, where were you? Where were you when I needed you? And we still play her. It's good turn to do it. I think worst case we can exile Emperor, but only in case he goes like 2 for 1 or something like this. 3 damage is okay. And March, we need to save it for underdog. Right now it's not a problem. We both have a lot of cards, but at some point, the fact he will be drawing every turn with the underdog is pretty huge. Okay, okay. I see. You know what? I heard the Emperor is pretty good. So we want also to do it main phase, so he doesn't get day-night cycle. So let's do this scary. Like, when I play this card, man, this card is more powerful than you would think. Like, if the game goes for 15 turns and he triggers it like 8 times, man, imagine how much value he is getting. And he can trigger it 2 times a turn pretty much. Like, 1 on his turn and 1 on ours, theoretically. So, the upside potential is just insane. On top of the ramp. Oh, that's a bad play. I really like it. I really freaking like it. Oh man, please do more of those. And given he seems to have some like toughness based removal, we definitely want to +1.
Remember your training.
Yep. And let's make, you know, a decent 3-3. So maybe you want another mid hook? Oh man, that sucks. This is painful. We need to hit the land like right now. The mid hook wasn't an issue, but Despair was. And the fact that he's not cycling means that he has a lot of value in the hand. So we go for blue. Oh man, do we go for Emperor? Is this the deck that plays counter spells? I don't think he should. I don't think he should. I might be wrong. And he gets the trigger, but in this case we are, I think, more or less forced to do it. It's too easy to remove if you go sorcery speed. Like Blood Chief first, I'm pretty sure he has them. See, this would kill already the Emperor. Let's give him the choice first. There is a big chance he goes for some counter spell. Okay, that's good. This means that it will be hard for him to do anything. He might go for land. Oh, but he cannot remove the Planewalker. So I think that's the best moment. I don't want to get countered, and there's chance he gets like island or something and Jewelry. Low chance, but why risk it? Why risk it for the biscuit? Yep, enjoy your looting, but he's tapped out, and that's huge. Man, we definitely go Elspeth if we can, but I'm thinking, oh, I hate you so much. Oh, those tap lands, like those tap lands are destroying this deck very often. He has creatures, he has op, and he has the tenacious underdog, but I think in this case, we just go for the Brutal Cathar. You know, more value, especially if he wants to switch to nighttime, like, I mean, sure. So let's force him to play the mid-hook Massacre, and then we go Elspeth and get some nice 3-drop. I hope. At least that's the plan. We might go for March, but we can only go for 2 with the Absence. Sure, I really don't mind this one. Emperor already created 2 cards, so you need mid-hook Massacre now. Of course they have it. Of course. Why would you ever not? But it still was correct play, because he had way more mana, so even putting 1 counter wouldn't change the outcome. And right now he's tapped out and slowly, out of value. Oh man, that's a powerful draw. I still think it's Elspeth. We really want the Planewalker because it gives you... So this gives you some value every turn, but this one is just more. Especially if you can go for...
This is my city.
I want to stress out what we hit in our 7 cards. 6 lands and a Brutal Cathar. I'm actually so hopeful, thankful, sorry, for the Brutal Cathar, because if we got 7 lands out of this, that would be GG. Oh man, that's scary. But we can kill it at least. Oh, he wants to steal it. You're a stealing little beast. So we go for creature, right? Man, I want to remove Tibalt. Like, we have to remove Tibalt, so... What exactly are we doing? We just +1 for nothing, I guess. We killed the Tibalt. Man, we have to do it. I'm thinking about killing his treasure, because the fact that he stopped decking is like a big thing right now for us. I think it is the right play. This sucks. We went 2 for 1 ourselves, but we have more cards and we have Elspeth. So if he cannot answer her, hopefully we can get somewhere. Well, I would prefer you to hit land. Oh man, it's a decent draw. It even lets him cycle more. Whoa! Oh my god, he's getting all of this. Like, we have still decent shot. Brutal Cathar will be a problem.
You're my enemy.
But man. Oh man.
Down the locals.
So he really doesn't want to get hit with ops. I guess we do this and play the Chariot and see what's up, and that has to do. And we can... Okay, that's a good play. So then we have Cat, that is 2-2. It goes to 3-3, and then we can make it 4-4 and crew the Chariot next turn that will copy 4-4. This might be our out. Man, I'm not sure if we should remove the token. I'm really not sure, but I think we don't need to decide now. Because we will have 1 mana for the token. That's not a great draw, as always. Let's make the Chariot. Let's make a Cat. Oh, that's a problem. He will just kill the Cat. But that's still something we have to do. Can we change the outcome? Not really, he just removes it, right? Let's get Lightning, just in case he messes up somehow. And well, then we crew Chariot, right? We are completely out of value. We played the card. So I'm not removing Celestus because I plan to keep on playing cards every turn.
Defy me,
Nope.
and you'll lose.
His life isn't the most important thing right now. We need to survive this hit. That hurts.
Is my entertainment.
We cannot exile anything in order to kill Cathar. Yep, and we have to crew the Chariot, right? I think we do it. He might remove it, but that's okay. Then we just go with the Lone Cat. Lone Cat. If I had mana, I would kill Cathar as a response, but we needed to play Chariot, and we cannot do both. By the way, that's how we start the turn. I want to be picky. I will be picky. But that's something I don't do myself very often. Okay, that's pretty good. That's smart. With Brutal Cathar, that's a nice combo that he assembled on the fly. But we have another hit with Elspeth soon. Man, we really need the draw. Oh, enemy is looking at it. My turn. It might be wise to remove the Brutal Cathar. So what? We give it flying or vigilance. We can get rid of the werewolf. This is definitely going here. Oh man, that's hard. This is hard. We can also remove. We can take 4 more, I guess. And then we can -3 with Elspeth. Or we might just make an angel. Maybe making angel is actually better overall. So we kill this. We give lifelink to this. Yeah, I think this is good. This seems like a best play right now. And we want to play 1 spell. Take action. And we want to grow this into creating a Chariot crewing effect. Okay, 1/1 counter. They can double block it. But then we -3, right? We could also give it flying and just make sure we kill one of the ops. You know what? This is actually good. Let's give it flying. We kill the original always, right? No. Which one was it? So he wants to play another one. Yeah, so we want to kill the token. Because they are both at 2 loyalty, so no difference other than this. So if he has another op, then if he plays it, he needs to remove this one, so that's good. 1 down.
Don't think you're some
Man, this game is getting intense. Oh, that's a
not worth the
interesting play.
Check down the locals.
Elspeth, is she taking over the game?
These jobs are getting deadlier.
I wonder what he has in the hand. He definitely has options. Oh man, he did it to kill her. All of this to kill Elspeth. You can clearly see how scared he was, and for a good reason.
You can't just
He basically traded everything he had for killing Elspeth. Man, we need finally a good draw. Okay, this loot. Oh man, imagine if we drew it for the first 20 turns. Oh man, I'm salty. We are drawing everything in the wrong order right now. And this might get killed. Not sure if we can do anything about it really. If we play this, then Catilda. I guess that he needs to remove her. So then he needs to pretty much remove Harvester. And man, Celestus, you can see how much value it got. And we are down to 3. We are freaking down to 3. If he meat hooks, we are at 2. Or like kills his own creature or anything. So we are still okay. We need him to whiff. Oh, interesting. So he values his Harvester way more. Man, the fact that his cycles lands hurts so much. It really does hurt, and we need good creatures finally. This might actually be a thing. Man, this actually might be a thing. We cannot crew the Chariot yet. Yeah, I think she's the target. We want to keep the Aspirant. So if we are forced to trade, we much rather do it with Catilda. Actually, maybe counter would be better here, because then we go to 2-2 anyway, so we can trade with Harvester, and there's no way he buffs the toughness. Like, he has everything, bro. Oh man, we need to stop his top decks. His top decks are too strong. That's the play, right? Good game? Yep. Oh man, that felt so awkward. We kept getting the wrong part of the deck every time.